The first key to leadership was self-control, particularly the mastery of pride, which was something more difficult to subdue than a wild lion, and anger, which was more difficult to defeat than the greatest wrestler. He warned them that if you can't swallow your pride, you can't lead. You sit on a throne that no one else can see. It's not made of gold or marble, but of your thoughts, your choices, your discipline. Every moment is a battle for dominion over this realm. The enemy is not some external force. It's the whispers of comfort, the allure of distraction, the seductive pull of weakness. In the quiet of your morning, the battlefield is set. The first decision you make is the first strike in a war that will define your day. Will you rise with purpose or surrender to the bed that seeks to keep you captive? Each hesitation is a skirmish lost. Each delay is a retreat from your throne. Look into the mirror. The reflection staring back is not just flesh and bone. It's your inner saboteur. It wears the mask of normalcy, of comfort, of just this once. But beneath that mask lies the assassin of your potential. Recognizing this enemy is the first step toward mastery. The cost of inaction is servitude to circumstance. The reward of discipline is sovereignty over your mind. The throne awaits, but only if you dare to claim it. I move like the predator, I strike like the assassin, I rule like the sovereign. The first key to leadership was self-control, particularly the mastery of pride, which was something more difficult to subdue than a wild lion, and anger, which was more difficult to defeat than the greatest wrestler. He warned them that if you can't swallow your pride, you can't lead. Your mind is a fortress, and your thoughts are its defenders. Every impulse, every distraction is an enemy at the gates. Testing your resolve, the throne you seek to claim, the seat of absolute authority, rests upon the foundation of your mental discipline. Without it, your empire crumbles. Guarding the gates of your mind is not a passive endeavor. It is an active, relentless campaign against the forces that seek to infiltrate and destabilize your realm. Just as a castle's gates prevent invaders, your focus must repel the destructive impulses that lurk within. Each moment of hesitation, each surrender to comfort, is a breach in your defenses. Your thoughts are not autonomous. They are subjects to be governed. The council of reason, logic, strategy, and foresight must deliberate on every decision. Without this council, you risk being swayed by emotion, by impulse, by the whims of the moment. A prince without a council is a ruler without direction, a ship adrift in a storm. Mental clarity is the crown upon your brow. It is the sovereign's most prized possession, for it illuminates the path ahead and dispels the shadows of doubt. Confusion is the enemy seeking your abdication, a usurper that thrives in the absence of discipline. To wear the crown, you must first clear the fog from your mind, seeing the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. The cost of failure is not mere inconvenience, it is the loss of your throne. Each lapse in discipline, each moment of weakness, is a step toward servitude to circumstance, but the reward of mastery is sovereignty over your mind, the ability to command your thoughts and actions with unwavering authority. Rise then, as the ruler of your own mind, fortify the gates, convene the council, and wear the crown of clarity. For in this realm, you are both sovereign and subject, and only through discipline can you ascend the throne. I move like the predator, I strike like the assassin, I rule like the sovereign. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. The first light of dawn is not gentle. It is a clarion call to arms. The moment your eyes open, the battlefield is set, and the war for your life begins. Every second wasted in hesitation, every surrender to the comfort of lingering sleep, is a foothold granted to the enemy. Distraction, weakness, regret. The day is a siege, and the first strike decides the momentum. Those who rise early, who seize the first light, dictate the pace of everything that follows. You either move as the predator, striking with precision, or you linger as prey, waiting for someone else to define your fate. Early action is your first strike advantage. The world does not wait while you debate or delay. The simple act of rising, of standing, and meeting the dawn with purpose is a declaration of sovereignty. Every habit formed in these hours compounds into power. Email inboxes, notifications, minor tasks, they are the skirmishes of your daily war. Conquer them immediately, and you build momentum. Hesitate, and the enemy festers in the shadows, eroding your authority. Successful people in modern times understand this instinctively. CEOs, athletes, soldiers, all rise before the world stirs because the early hours are uncontested territory, a silent kingdom to be claimed. Ritual is your armor. The discipline of morning routines is not trivial. It is forged like steel, protecting your mind and body from chaos. The soldier dresses meticulously, sharpens his weapons, surveys the terrain. You do the same when you establish patterns of excellence, stretching your body, centering your mind, reviewing the tasks that matter most. These rituals are shields that deflect the randomness of life. Without them, you are exposed. Your defense is brittle, vulnerable to the ambush of indecision. A clear plan executed without fail every morning is the armor that ensures you march through the day undefeated. Silence before siege is a gift few understand. While the city sleeps, while the world hums in noise and distraction, you are alone with yourself. In these quiet moments, you observe your inner landscape, your doubts, your fears, the tendencies that have held you back. You map the terrain of your mind as a general would survey enemy positions before the attack. Awareness allows strategy. Without it, you stumble blindly into battle, reacting to circumstances rather than controlling them. This reconnaissance is to your advantage. It reveals the vulnerabilities you must fortify and the strengths you must exploit. Each morning is a microcosm of life's battles. Win it, and the day bows to your strategy. Lose it, and you are forced to chase, constantly recovering ground you should have claimed at first light. Understand that the first strike is not symbolic, it is tactical. Move decisively, fortify your body with movement, fortify your mind with focus, fortify your spirit with clarity. The enemy never sleeps, and neither should your readiness. The cost of ignoring this battlefield is subtle yet devastating. A late start shows hesitation, fatigue, and loss of control. The reward of conquest is profound, a day that yields to your will, a life that bows to the discipline you have mastered, a mind that rules rather than obeys. Make the first hours yours, dominate the dawn, claim the advantage that cannot be taken back. I strike at dawn, I advance with purpose, I conquer before the world awakens. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Machiavelli, your mind is a throne, and every thought is a subject vying for your favor. If you allow the wrong ones to sit at your council, your empire crumbles. Just as a fortress stands or falls on the strength of its gates, your focus is the gatekeeper of your realm. Let distractions breach your walls, and your kingdom becomes a battlefield of chaos. Machiavelli warned that a ruler's intelligence is reflected in the men he surrounds himself with. In the same vein, your mental clarity mirrors the quality of thoughts you entertain. Confusion is the enemy seeking your abdication. Every decision is a decree from your throne. Allowing impulsive desires to sway your judgment is akin to a king yielding to the whims of his court. Such weakness invites rebellion. To rule your mind is to command your destiny. Guard your thoughts with the vigilance of a monarch, protecting his realm. Let no unworthy impulse sit at your counsel. Remember, the strength of your empire lies in the sovereignty of your mind. Rule it with wisdom, and your reign will be unchallenged. Master your mind, and you master your empire. The ends justify the means. Your ascent demands clarity, not sentiment. Every step toward power, every claim to sovereignty is blocked by invisible anchors, weak habits, toxic relationships, lingering doubts. These are the enemies that disguise themselves as comfort, familiarity, or loyalty. To advance to claim the throne of your mind and life, you must strike with ruthless precision. Anything that does not serve your dominance is a casualty waiting for the surgeon's scalpel. Begin by identifying the dead weight. Look honestly at your life. Which thoughts, actions, or people drain your energy without return? Which routines chain you to mediocrity? Modern life disguises bondage as normalcy, endless scrolling, meaningless chatter, obligations that serve no purpose. Recognize these anchors for what they are. Awareness is your first weapon. Without it, you wander, reacting instead of commanding, surrendering to forces you could conquer. Once identified, act with surgical precision. Indecision is a luxury for those who do not seek the throne. Cut decisively, sever ties without hesitation. Stop indulgence in habits that weaken your focus. Terminate routines that sap momentum. In history, Machiavelli observed that princes who hesitate lose not just battles, but kingdoms. The same applies to your mind and your life. To hesitate is to give your enemies, internal and external, the opening to strike. Hesitation breeds doubt. Doubt becomes surrender. Surrender invites chaos. Strike once, strike cleanly. Leave no room for regret. After removal comes the rebuilding. Every elimination creates a void, a battlefield cleared for strategic occupation. Fill it with strength, with discipline, with clarity. Let the space once occupied by weakness now be home to dominance. Forge habits that amplify your impact. Surround yourself with allies who elevate rather than drain. Construct routines that enforce focus and fortify resolve. The void is your canvas, and every act of rebuilding paints the picture of an untouchable sovereign. The stakes are absolute. Weakness left unchecked becomes disease, infecting your mind, eroding your empire. Strength cultivated through ruthless elimination becomes armor, impenetrable and commanding. Understand this: comfort is the enemy, hesitation is the foe, and sentiment is the poison. Only through decisive, merciless action can you reclaim your power. Every act of elimination is an act of sovereignty. Every cut is a strike against mediocrity. Every removal a step closer to dominance. Stand then, with the precision of a surgeon and the ferocity of a predator. Sever what binds you, construct what empowers you, command your realm with authority unchallenged. Your throne is not given, it is seized through ruthless mastery over every weakness that dares to linger. I cut without mercy, I rise without doubt, I rule without equal. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. Power is not only what you hold, it is what others believe you hold. The throne you occupy is not just a seat, it is a projection, a fortress built of perception and command. To be untouchable, you must master the mask of authority. Your posture, your voice, your very presence becomes armor, a declaration that you are sovereign, unshakable, and inevitable. Doubt is a fissure in your fortress, confidence is the stone that seals it. Appearance is your first weapon. The way you carry yourself is the first signal to both allies and adversaries. Stand as though the weight of the world bows to your will. Move with purpose. Every step, every gesture communicates command. Modern leaders, CEOs, and athletes understand this instinctively. How you are perceived can shape the battlefield long before any action is taken. Armor your body with confidence. Make every movement precise, deliberate, and unreadable. Let hesitation or slouching be unthinkable. Your stance alone should speak volumes, conveying that retreat is impossible and surrender is unnecessary. Voice is the spear that pierces the fog of uncertainty. Words, when sharpened and delivered with control, cut through distraction, fear, and resistance. Speak with clarity and authority. Let your sentences be measured, deliberate, and absolute. Modern examples abound: the speech that rallies armies, the negotiation that bends markets, the conversation that commands loyalty, all hinge on the resonance of delivery. Tone, volume, rhythm, and conviction shape reality. To command is to make your voice the instrument of influence, a force that bends perception to your will. Presence is the unseen general on the field, the silent deterrent that shifts outcomes without a strike. Walk into a room and occupy space like the apex predator surveying its domain. Eyes meet yours and hesitate. The invisible weight of authority settles before any engagement begins. This is not intimidation, it is inevitability. Others defer, reconsider, strategize differently because they sense mastery in your presence. Influence does not always require words or action. Often it is enough that you exist as a force impossible to ignore. The cost of neglecting your mask is steep. Doubt leaks into your interactions. Hesitation erodes your authority, and opportunities slip past the unaware. The reward of mastery is profound. You become the pivot around which events rotate, the figure others follow, the ruler of perceptions as much as reality. Craft your posture, hone your voice, cultivate your aura. Let every action, gesture, and word project invincibility. The throne is not only a seat of power, it is the image of power itself. I stand like a fortress, I speak like a blade, I move like inevitability. Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. Machiavelli. In the silent chambers of your mind, a battle rages unseen. This adversary is not an external force, it is the assassin within. The voice that whispers doubt, sows hesitation, and undermines your every move. It is the shadow of fear, the echo of past failures, the specter of insecurity. To ascend, to dominate, to command, you must confront this assassin with unflinching resolve. Machiavelli understood the power of the mind in warfare. In The Prince, he emphasizes that a ruler must be both lion and fox, strong and cunning. The fox represents shrewdness, the ability to navigate the complexities of human nature. But the lion is unyielding, decisive, and fearless. To be both, you must first conquer the internal saboteur that seeks to paralyze you with doubt. Recognizing self-betrayal is the first strike. The assassin within often wears the guise of reason, cloaked in the language of caution and prudence. It tells you to wait, to hesitate, to consider the risks. But in that hesitation lies the seed of defeat. Every moment spent in indecision is a moment surrendered to your adversary. Awareness is your weapon. Recognize the voice of doubt for what it is, the enemy within. Mental assassination follows. Replace fear with strategy, doubt with calculated action. The assassin thrives on uncertainty. Starve it by acting decisively. In the theater of war, hesitation is the ally of the enemy. To be swift is to be lethal. Every action taken in the face of fear diminishes its power over you. Relentless focus is your final command. The inner assassin never sleeps, and neither should your discipline. It is not enough to confront doubt once and move on. You must be vigilant, ever watchful, ever ready to strike down the seeds of self-sabotage before they take root. Discipline is the armor that shields you from the whispers of the assassin. The cost of failure is steep. To yield to the assassin within is to surrender your potential, to forfeit your ascent. But the rewards of discipline are immeasurable. They are the keys to power, to mastery, to the throne. Rise above the whispers, silence the assassin within. Become the master of your mind and the master of your fate. I am the master of my fate. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. Within you lies a predator, a wolf, whose hunger and instinct have been tamed by society, dulled by comfort, and chained by fear. Yet the wolf is not your enemy. It is your weapon. To become untouchable, to dominate your life as a strategist dominates the battlefield, you must feed the wolf, not cage it. Instinct, raw and unrefined, is energy waiting for direction. Left ignored, it withers. Left uncontrolled, it destroys. But harnessed, it becomes the force that propels you toward victory. Aggression is energy, the drive that pulses through your veins, the fire that refuses to be ignored. This is your wolf speaking. Modern life tells you to suppress it, to temper ambition, to smile politely while the world passes you by. History shows a different path. The leaders who carved empires, the entrepreneurs who built dynasties, the athletes who conquered their limits, all channeled aggression into focused, unstoppable action. Your primal energy is the fuel for achievement. Let it power your mornings, your decisions, your relentless pursuit of mastery. Aggression without purpose is chaos. Aggression with purpose is dominance. Strategic hunger transforms desire into a tool. Hunger is the wolf's compass. It directs attention, sharpens focus, and demands results. But hunger must be controlled. Craving without strategy leads to recklessness. Desire without discipline becomes weakness. Learn to feed it selectively, to channel it toward calculated victories. Each goal achieved, each skill mastered, each boundary pushed is a meal for your wolf. Satisfaction is temporary. The hunt is eternal. The more you feed with purpose, the stronger your instinct, the keener your perception, the deadlier your impact. Patience is the predator's ally. A wolf does not strike indiscriminately. It observes, calculates, waits for the precise moment to act. The same principle governs your life. Let your instincts guide your strategy, but never rush the attack. Wait for the opportune moment when conditions align, when hesitation among your rivals becomes your advantage. Strike decisively, leaving no room for doubt or second-guessing. Victory belongs to those who balance hunger with calculation, instinct with intelligence. The stakes are unforgiving. Ignoring the wolf is surrender, suppressing it is denial, feeding it recklessly is self-destruction. Yet mastery over it brings unmatched power. Your instincts become armor. Your drive becomes a blade. Your focus becomes a force of nature. Every action is sharpened. Every decision is amplified. Every step forward is executed with predatory precision. The wolf within is not to be feared. It is to be trained, respected, and unleashed at the exact moment when it guarantees triumph. Feed the wolf wisely. Channel aggression into achievement. Transform desire into calculated strategy. Balance hunger with patience, instinct with intelligence. Dominate the field as the predator dominates its territory. Unseen yet unstoppable, silent yet lethal. I feed the wolf. I control the hunt. I strike with precision. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. Life is a chessboard, and you are both a player and general. Each day, each decision, each word you speak is a move that shapes the game. The world is filled with opponents, some visible, others hidden behind masks of civility. But your mind is your battlefield. To become untouchable, to claim mastery over your destiny, you must think like a grandmaster, anticipate, calculate, and strike with precision. Every action matters. Even a single misstep can cost you the game. Anticipating opponents is your first command. Every interaction carries hidden intentions. Leaders, manipulators, and competitors alike reveal patterns if you know where to look. Observe the hesitation in a rival's speech, the twitch in a colleague's expression, the subtle shifts in alliances. Predicting their moves allows you to prepare, to counter, to control the flow of the board. Like a chess master surveying the pieces before the first move, you must map the battlefield in your mind, anticipating threats and opportunities before they materialize. Do not be reactive, be prescient. Calculated sacrifice is your next weapon. Pawns are expendable. Principles are not. Sometimes, to protect your core values, to secure your long-term vision, you must let go of minor victories, surrender fleeting advantages, and endure temporary setbacks. History is filled with rulers and generals who understood the power of sacrifice. A small loss today ensured conquest tomorrow. Your ambition, like a queen, is your greatest asset. Guard it fiercely. Every pawn you move, every concession you make, must serve the strategy of ultimate triumph. Let no short-term discomfort derail your long-term plan. Endgame vision is the crown of mastery. Every choice, every risk, every confrontation should be played with the final victory in mind. Focus on what matters most, not the distractions that litter the battlefield. The grand masters of life do not measure success by isolated wins. They measure it by the culmination of strategy, the ability to maintain dominance when the board narrows and options dwindle. Keep your eyes on the ultimate prize, aligning every move with your final objective. Obsess over the endgame, for it is there that the untouchable are forged. The stakes are relentless. One impulsive move can topple empires. Every pawn surrendered recklessly. Every hesitation, every failure to foresee the adversary's hand is a crack in your fortress. But with discipline, foresight, and tactical patience, you shape the board to your will. Every decision becomes a weapon, every plan a shield, every maneuver an echo of your dominance. Victory is not accidental. It is orchestrated, methodical, and inevitable for those who master the strategy of life itself. Survey the board, anticipate, sacrifice, and play relentlessly toward the endgame. Let each move reinforce your sovereignty. Control the tempo, command the pieces, and leave no opportunity unexploited. I see the board. I move with purpose. I claim victory. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Your will is a weapon, not the will born of desire or fleeting motivation, but the iron will forged through ritual, repetition, and relentless discipline. Every day, you step into the arena of your own mind, testing your limits, challenging your weaknesses, and shaping yourself into a force that cannot be shaken. Discipline is the hammer. Ritual is the anvil. You are the sword being forged. Without repeated mastery, your power is brittle. With ritual, it becomes indestructible. Ritualized resilience is your first command. Ordinary actions, when repeated deliberately, become extraordinary defenses. The act of waking early, of preparing your mind before the chaos of the day, of training with intensity, is armor for the soul. Just as soldiers march daily to harden their bodies for war, so must you condition your mind to withstand pressure. Every small victory over laziness, distraction, or hesitation compounds. These rituals are not mere routines. They are battlegrounds where your future strength is won. Consistency is your weapon. Doubt dissolves when repetition becomes law. The untouchable do not rely on bursts of inspiration. They rely on the predictability of discipline, morning drills, strategic planning, mental conditioning, all repeated with precision, cement authority over your actions and over your mind. When every movement aligns with purpose, chaos finds no purchase and hesitation has no foothold. A life ruled by ritual is a life immune to surprise, a fortress built stone by stone in the crucible of daily mastery. Testing limits is your revelation. Endurance under strain exposes the difference between temporary toughness and true indestructibility. Push past fatigue, beyond comfort, into the territory where most retreat. When your body quivers and your mind screams, that is where the untouchable are forged. Each trial, each deliberate push against your own boundaries is a declaration you are stronger than fear, faster than doubt, sharper than distraction. This is not suffering, this is strategic creation of a self who cannot be bent, broken, or compromised. The stakes are uncompromising. Every neglected ritual, every skipped moment of preparation is a crack in your armor. Without repetition, your mind succumbs to pressure, your decisions falter, your potential is stolen. But with iron will, you do not merely survive, you dominate. Life tests everyone, but those who have sculpted their discipline into ritual are untouchable. They command themselves first, and by doing so command the world. Forge yourself daily. Repeat with purpose. Endure with intent. Let every action, no matter how small, be a strike against weakness and an affirmation of your invincibility. Stand unyielding. Strike with clarity. Command without hesitation. I forge my will, I master my mind. I am indestructible. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. You stand now at the precipice of mastery, where every lesson, every battle, every ritual converges into one unbreakable force. Becoming untouchable is not a moment. It is an apex forged through relentless alignment of mind, body, instinct, and strategy. You are no longer reacting, you are the apex predator surveying the battlefield, the chess master reading 10 moves ahead, the sovereign whose throne trembles no invader. This is the final ascent, where preparation becomes presence and presence becomes power. Sovereign integration is your first conquest. Intellect, emotion, and will are no longer separate entities. They fuse into seamless authority. Your thoughts are sharp blades, your emotions disciplined soldiers, your will the commander orchestrating every maneuver. Hesitation dies, confusion is crushed. Every decision flows from clarity, every action echoes strategy. The mind that once wavered now dominates, the body that once trembled now strikes with precision, the instincts that once betrayed now guide with lethal accuracy. You do not stumble through life, you dictate it, a sovereign ruling the terrain of your own existence. An impenetrable aura surrounds you. Authority is not demanded, it radiates. Others sense it before you speak, before you act. Your presence alone deters attacks, dissolves doubt, and commands respect. Just as generals on the battlefield project power before engaging, you carry an invisible armor of confidence and foresight. One glance, one word, one controlled gesture communicates mastery. The untouchable never explains, they dominate silently, their energy shaping the environment, bending circumstances before resistance forms. Every encounter becomes a demonstration. This is your domain. Mastery of circumstance is the final revelation. Life bends to your strategy because you have aligned yourself with inevitability. Challenges arise, but they meet prepared precision. Chaos encounters order. Hesitation meets relentless momentum. Resistance meets impenetrable control. You are no longer shaped by events. You are the architect of them. Opportunities are not sought, they are engineered. Threats are not feared, they are neutralized before they materialize. You walk through the world like a predator among prey, not because you dominate by force alone, but because every element of your being, mind, body, instinct, ritual operates in perfect synchrony. The cost of failure was high, but you have paid it in full. Every sacrificed comfort, every moment of struggle, every calculated risk has forged you into untouchable form. To falter now is impossible. To hesitate now is inconceivable. You are apex. You are sovereign. You are untouchable. Integrate yourself fully. Radiate without compromise. Shape circumstances into your strategy. Stand unmoved, unchallenged, unstoppable. I am sovereign. I am apex. I am untouchable. Whosoever wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. You have arrived at the apex, the moment where the fire of discipline, the blade of strategy, and the shadow of instinct converge into one unbreakable form. This is the apotheosis of power, the final transformation. No longer reactive, no longer scattered, no longer prey to circumstance. Every thought, every movement, every choice is aligned with mastery. Victory is not something you seek. It is a natural consequence of your presence. The battlefield of life bends beneath your command, and chaos itself hesitates in your wake. Your mental empire is absolute. The corridors of your mind are fortified with clarity, logic, and vision. Doubt is exiled. Fear is silenced. Distraction cannot penetrate these walls. Like a sovereign surveying a kingdom, you see every angle, every weakness, every opportunity. Decisions flow from a place of unshakable authority, calculated and precise. Each choice reinforces your dominance. Each thought strengthens your throne. Your mind is no longer a field of skirmishes. It is a citadel of invincibility, where every neuron is a soldier loyal to your will. Guard it, rule it, expand it. You move through the world as a predator in society, silent, observant, calculating. You strike only when necessary, yet when you do, your impact is decisive, leaving no room for counterattack. You are untouchable because your presence is controlled, your actions deliberate, your instincts honed. Like a wolf in the wild, you read the currents of human behavior, the patterns of opportunity, the movements of threats, and act with ruthless precision. Every encounter is a lesson in subtlety and dominance. Let the masses rush blindly. You navigate like a master, invisible until victory is inevitable. This final form leaves a legacy of mastery. The influence you wield is not temporary, it is enduring. Every space you occupy, every system you enter, every circle you touch is shaped by your presence. Others may follow, imitate, or fear, but they cannot diminish the authority you have forged. Like the great strategists and rulers of history, your power is encoded in the fabric of your environment. It is the silent command that shapes outcomes without effort, the invisible hand that bends circumstance to your design. What you build is permanent because it emerges from mastery, not chance, from discipline, not desire. To reach this apex, you have paid the price. The hours spent sharpening your mind, the rituals that forged resilience, the calculated strikes that eliminated weakness, the mastery over fear and hesitation. Now these practices crystallize into one force, the sovereign self. Every battle faced, every strategy employed, every instinct honed is a testament to the apex you have become. The world is no longer a threat. It is your chessboard. Life is no longer a chaos. It is your arena. Command your mind. Move with predator's patience. Leave a legacy of influence. Merge intellect, instinct, and action into a seamless form. Let nothing bypass your vision, nothing unsettle your presence. You are the apex of yourself, the untouchable, the sovereign, the master of all domains you inhabit. I am sovereign. I am apex. I am eternal. Whosoever wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Every day is your battlefield. Every dawn a fresh campaign. You rise, not merely to exist, but to conquer. Treat each morning as a throne to be claimed, a test of your discipline, ruthlessness, and strategic mastery. The world will test you relentlessly, but you answer not with panic or hesitation. You answer with command. Your mind is sharp, your body disciplined, your instincts honed. Every choice is deliberate, every action a strike in the war for your own supremacy. Perpetual vigilance is your armor. Complacency is the enemy. Distraction the saboteur. Hesitation the assassin at your back. To remain untouchable, you must read the currents of the day, anticipate threats before they appear, and adapt faster than chaos can respond. You move unseen, calculating, striking only when it ensures total advantage. Your presence alone deters attacks. Your aura demands respect. Your strategy bends circumstance to your will. Like a predator stalking the hunt, you are patient yet relentless, silent yet decisive. This is the mantra that seals your sovereignty. I move like the predator. I strike like the assassin. I rule like the sovereign. Speak it, own it, let it guide every decision, every encounter, every battle of mind and circumstance. The untouchable life is not a gift. It is forged in ritual, sharpened through discipline, and maintained through constant mastery. Declare your sovereignty, embrace the rigor, and let the world bend to the precision of your command. I move like the predator. I strike like the assassin. I rule like the sovereign.